Ba-da-bum-bum.
Storm.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum. Souls. Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Dragon.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Roll. Dadventurous.
Welcome back to Dadventurous.
We're back in business.
Back.
We're here to finish off the fight. I'm excited.
Yeah, last week we ended at a little bit of a cliffhanger.
We did.
So we've kept you guys waiting a week.
Myself included. So I am ready. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say other than we're closing in on this one, and we're going to start up Season 3 after a small break.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about Campaign 3. I'm
excited too. It's going to be a little bit more mysterious.
Yes, we're going for a little different style. So we'll leave it at that. We'll let you guys figure it out. But I think that's it for me. So if you want to take it away.
Last week on Dadventurous, the dad made a very silly song about how a shark tender is a very lame dragon and sung it on air.
And it made you forget the guy's name.
Yeah, I did say, I think I said Sparkrender, and then I almost said Sparktender at one point.
Perfect.
It was a pretty catchy song.
Nice.
And you sang that. It really got under Sparkrender's skin, and he tried to tackle you. However, you had planned for this and did a cool backflip with Alfred's help, I believe.
I did.
And managed to free Adron, the bronze dragon wormling.
Took the fight to Sparkrender.
And you guys kind of proceeded to move around the map a little bit. As you migrated off the cliff face and into the observatory, you guys had a bit of a boss battle with Sparkrender.
That's true.
You had drank your potion of lightning resistance, which helped a lot with his lightning breath. You were about to finish him off when you heard a rumble from below.
Turns out he might not have been the final boss after all.
He might not have been the final boss. He flew out and looked very scared and very confused because the orrery, this big celestial model in the middle of the plaza of this observatory, had started to glow. And he seemed to be like panicking almost about that until you heard another more prominent rumble from beneath the ground. And it seemed that something was coming from beneath the island.
Or someone.
That's
true. Shaking in my boots watching this.
And you watched as a dragon rose from the water for the first time in centuries. You saw Olivia, and she seemed to be in cahoots.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. Get out. We're done. Recording over. Terrible joke.
Sorry.
No, that was good.
Yeah, she seemed to be in cahoots with this dragon. And Sharuth, as it turned out to be, said that she would like to start getting her revenge.
That's true.
On you.
I knew this was coming, but this is not how I knew it was going to happen. I had a feeling that Sharuth was behind it all. I did not expect Olivia to be the catalyst.
I had to bring her back.
I thought it was going to be Sparkrender, so this is great.
Yeah. Sparkrender seems that this is not how he planned to go.
Yeah.
That is where we are now.
Well, and I had also jumped off the dragon and sent the dragon, hopefully, to pick up Mech and Min.
Mm-hmm.
For Mila's. They're her brothers.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
So
that's where we are now. I look out at the dragon rising from the ocean, and I say, I've got a bad feeling about this.
I think I am too. And as Sharuth spreads her wings, and she's, like I said, she's bigger than Runara, and you know Runara was a pretty big dragon. She takes flight, actually.
Oh.
And causing a kind of a gust of hot, sulfurous air to pass over the ruins. She seems to be giving off heat. Can you make a perception check?
A perception check? Hey, that's not bad. Let me look at my skills. 18.
All right. You notice as Sharuth takes flight and you finally see her bottom half. She's got huge black talons. Small little. It's really hard to notice, but a small little stream of like fiery looking light flowing from the now glowing golden orrery to Sharuth.
Like a beam connection?
Less like a beam and more of like a tether almost.
Okay.
And you notice that. You can't quite tell because you're a little focused on Sharuth, but you seem to notice a shape of some sort flying in from the northwest.
Ah, okay. I look to my team, including, is Adron making their way to the kobolds? Or would he have stopped with all the...
He probably, you sent him before they saw Sharuth.
Yeah, before Sharuth popped out.
I think he wouldn't have made it in time.
Okay.
So he's probably also like kind of the same expression as Sparkrender staring on in horror at this.
I say, Yug, any insight here? I think it's your grandma.
I think she's a little bit more distantly related than that. But, hide? Because he points to Sharuth, and you notice she is opening her mouth wide, and you see a fiery energy sort of fireball start to build.
Okay, I will say that I'm going to shout to kind of just the world, and I say, get behind cover! And I'm going to look around to see what kind of cover I can get behind.
All right. I'm going to say there's the base of the orrery, though that is currently giving off fiery heat.
I might get to that in a minute, but not right now.
There is the statues around the edge of the plaza, but you would probably have to dash.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. I'm going to say, get behind cover. I see those statues. I'm going to run as fast as I can to hide myself behind these statues so I'm not in blast range. And I'm going to take Alfred under my arm and hide with him. I guess, actually, I'll say Alfred, go fly up. Never mind.
Yeah, Alfred just shoots up.
Bolts vertically. Okay.
Yarg, dashes in next to you just in time. And you notice you're standing right next to Min. Actually, because you remember they were hiding behind the statues.
Okay.
You hear this large inhale, kind of.
Oh boy, here we go!
So you heard that, and you suddenly hear a large choking noise.
Oh, I peek out.
You peek out.
Look.
And you notice this metallic shape just barrel straight into Sharuth from behind. And you, though you've only ever seen this once before, you recognize this dragon as she spreads her wings, still smaller than Sharuth, but
formidable nonetheless.
Yes, you get the idea that these are two very powerful dragons. And you recognize Runara in her dragon form. And
I know that dragon.
You see Sharuth, who's kind of knocked off guard by this.
Right.
She just goes, "What in the great conflager?" Oh, no. Her eyes widen as Runara opens her mouth, and a bolt of lightning, as she is a bronze dragon, shoots into the other worm's face.
Nice.
And she says, "Get off my island." And these two start to fight.
Oh.
Can you roll initiative again?
Again? Heyo, that is a 23 on my initiative.
Ooh, all right. Let's see, we got... All right. You notice as these two dragons... Runar just comes in and blasts Sharuth with a lightning bolt to the face.
I cheer.
Nice. Yarg probably cheers next to you.
Nice.
And these two start to fight each other. However, you notice as Sharuth's kind of anger builds, you notice a burst of heat suddenly wash over the plaza. As the orrery pulses with more of that fiery orange glow, it gets brighter. And you notice perhaps the most consistent enemy so far in the campaign. You notice yet again 2 more fume drakes
Fume drakes.
suddenly materialize.
These
next
guys
to the
again.
mechanism.
All right.
These weird gaseous dragons that are small, like even smaller than Adron.
Okay.
And they growl at you. However, you are first.
I am first. I'm assuming this like dragon battle is happening like way up in the sky.
Yeah, here, let me set the scene.
Okay.
So up in the sky, Runara has just tackled Sharuth, and these two are kind of grappling each other. They are far up in the sky
Okay.
by this time.
Kaiju fight.
Yeah. You get the idea that they're kind of on a different level than you.
That's great. I did not want to fight an ancient dragon.
That's probably smart of you. And kind of as Sharuth kind of gets more like aggressive, the sky turns a little like ashy.
Cool.
She almost gives off the aura of like a volcanic sort of
That's cool.
eruption. And down on this plaza, the orrery again is pulsing with this fiery orange glow, brighter than before. Sparkrender is standing next to it, looking on in like utter panic. Adron probably is about halfway between you and Sparkrender.
Okay.
Also kind of like wondering what to do. A couple kobolds you spot are around, hiding behind pieces of rubble. And then there's, of course, these 2 fume drakes next to the statue, or next to the
Orrery.
orrery.
Okay. And it's my turn?
Yes,
Okay.
it's your turn.
I'm going to yell at everyone else,
All right.
like the kobolds and everything. I say, get out of here! Protect yourselves! I don't know if that they'll listen to me, but I'm going to yell that.
All right.
And then I am going to turn and face the fume drakes here, and I'm going to attack.
You're gonna have to move.
Right. Oh, that's right. I'm not. I was
Mhm.
by the statues. Can I reach them in my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
I rush
plaza isn't
towards
super
one
big.
of them. Can I get next to the orrery?
Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of like standing next to a campfire. This heat coming
ambient heat.
off.
Okay.
Coming off of it. But yeah, there's these 2 fume drakes next
Then
to you.
I'm going to take out my axe and make a swing.
All right. Which one are you attacking?
Whichever one's closest to the orrery.
Okay. Yeah, you attack that one.
I attack him. I got an 18 to hit.
That does hit on this weird gaseous creature.
Okay. And I'm using the two-handed. Boo. That is 9 damage to this fume drake.
Yeah. All right. It looks pretty. It's starting to look a little hurt actually
Okay.
as you slash through
Sweet.
this weird dragon with your new battle axe.
All right, that's my turn though. I'm not going to use a bonus action right now, and I just kind of want to stay near the orrery. I might try to hit it or something like that in the
Alright.
future, but for now, that is my turn, and I look to see if any of the kobolds are gonna bolt on their turn. That's my go.
All right. I'm gonna say as you attack, you notice, I think, another one of the winged kobolds. You're not quite sure who, but you know that there were 2 more other than mech and men.
Mm-hmm.
And and they kind of just like whisper to each other and fly
Okay.
off.
Cool.
Because they can fly. And
That's what I was hoping for.
but just those 2 for now. Yarg, who I believe still has his rage going.
I think it lasts a minute, so
In it.
I don't know that he still would. I guess, I don't know. It's up to you. We were kind of in rounds of combat and whatnot, so
You weren't in rounds of combat, but
you can have it keep going.
rage lasts for 1 minute. I think he's gonna have to hit this turn to keep it going.
Okay.
But Yarg kind of follows you and rushes forward with a
Get him, Yog!
and is going to attack the other fume drake.
All right.
And is going to
The
attempt to
feathered
slice
fang slice.
with his scimitar. Woo-hoo, for a... That hits, I believe. Does hit. 8 damage to
Nicely
this guy.
done, Yog.
He kind of, again, has to jump up a little bit to
Yeah,
reach
to hit
these
him.
things.
That's funny.
But yeah, you have dealt the first blows. However, that is going to be his turn. Now it's Sparkrender's turn, actually.
Oh, all right. Let's see what he
And-
does.
He kind of, like, probably for a full second, just, like, stares and then kind of, like, shakes himself out of it and turns round to you,
Oh,
actually.
no.
And says, "We need to stop the ritual. We can't let her get to full power.
Sparkrender.
Look, protecting the world is more important than my personal goals right now." And
Wow, I was not expecting that.
he actually is going to, he's a little bit next to the orrery. He's going to use the rest of his movement to go to one of the small dragon statues around, that you remember the kobolds arranging. And he kind of like whispers to himself a little bit, and then is going to he picks up one and is going to start to try and rearrange them. And you know that he is the one who set up the original ritual.
Mhm.
So he might know what to do.
Don't trust him at all, but okay.
That's an absolute failure. All right. But yeah, that's his turn. I had him roll dice.
Okay.
Now it's the fume drake's next to you's
All right.
turn.
Bring it on.
This guy, he snarls at you and is going to try and take a swipe with one of its claws. I'm assuming a 7 doesn't hit.
No, it does not.
He's gonna stay next to you.
I deflect it with my axe.
All right.
Ha-ha!
You see another pair of kobolds kind of look at each other, and these ones aren't winged, but kind of like start helping each other down the side of the cliff.
Away.
Yeah, away.
Okay, cool.
Now it's Adron's turn. He kind of looks at Sparkrender and glares for a second, then notices the position of the statue. And he is actually going to rush forward and use his movement to come next to Sparkrender. And he says, "Wait, you need someone to make calculations. I can handle the mechanism." And you actually get the little bit of feeling that you got from Adron when he was showing you around the sorting his book collection in the library.
Mm-hmm.
You get the idea that he's kind of a mechanics kid.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
These two glare at each other for a second, and then Sparkrender rolls his eyes and says, "Fine. Just to be clear, after this, we're going back to being mortal enemies." And Adron just goes, "Well, fair enough." And is also going to use...
I did not have Sparkrender helping us out on my bingo card today, so I'm taking it for now.
As a weird, kind of a strange change of character for what you know about him, his fear of Sharuth seems to have overcome his antagonistic
and
tendencies
it's not like
towards
the chromatic dragons working together as a thing, right?
No.
Yeah, it's kinda what I figured.
They're very antagonistic of each other as
Right.
well.
Okay, cool.
So
that makes sense.
Adron is going to go and take another statue.
The enemy of my enemy situation.
And, ooh, all right. Now you start seeing a little bit of the effects of this.
Okay.
Adron, as you kind of got the idea before, he seems to have studied a lot of this. And he picks up another statue. This one, I believe this one is a gold one.
Okay.
And he picks it up and, like, takes a glance
the gears
between
turning
that.
in his head,
Yeah,
like that
you-
meme
yeah,
of the lady doing math.
Yeah, you can see the calculations going on.
Nice, I like
and
it.
he places one down, and actually the fume drake next to Yarg, actually its form flickers for a second,
Ah.
and the light on the orrery also flickers for a second.
Oh, it seems like they're powered together, Yarg.
If we interrupt the mechanism,
Maybe we can help Runara.
all right. Well, but before he can get a word in, the fume drake that's form flickered, it kind of reforms, and seemingly a little annoyed by that, is going to swoop in and attack Yarg.
Okay.
That does not hit. That was a
Aha.
very bad roll. I rolled a 6. Now it is your turn again.
All right.
As you see what
Can I
these people
shout
are
to
doing.
Adron and say, what do I need to do?
He takes a kind of a look between the Ori and says, see if you can find anything about the mechanism that, and Sparkrender kind of jumps in at the same time.
Okay.
That looks out of character.
Also try and keep us covered.
Okay, so
I'm a little bit preoccupied.
I'm looking at the orrery.
Yes.
Okay, can I investigate it or percept it
Yeah,
or whatever you want?
If you're looking for something specific, make an investigation check.
I mean, something
Out of the
out of
ordinary.
the ordinary?
You did see this mechanism before, so
A 12.
I'm gonna say looking at it for too long kind of hurts your eyes a little bit. It's glowing, and you get the spots in your vision.
Okay.
You don't notice anything except for the fact that it's glowing. But
Well, I don't notice anything, and I say, well, they said keep them covered, so that's what I'll do. That's what I'm built for. And so I would like to swing on the one that was in front of me, the fume drake, and see if
Alright.
I can defeat with a not very good, a 12.
a 12 does hit this thing.
Woohoo! Thank you. Dice, just enough. Where's the D2? Oh, terrible. 6 damage.
The one next to you.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. It's starting to look more hurt
Dang it.
as you
I say,
slash into
Alfred,
this. Ooh.
we'll call this one Hail Strike.
Ooh, nice.
And I think he's right above the fume drake, and he's just going to beak down, go into a dive.
Nice.
Not that owls have very pointy beaks, but
No,
you get
but
it.
yeah, I mean they're birds of prey.
And so Alfred's going to go in for a 19 to hit.
yeah. Right.
1 damage.
1 damage. I like to think that Alfred actually flies straight through this thing. It didn't manage to dissipate fast enough, and it does get a little slash.
Oh, nice.
And it reforms after Alfred
still up.
flies through it.
Nice.
But
Good job, Alfred. I give him a fist bump, wing tap as he goes by.
a wing tap.
Yep.
Nice.
And then, yeah, I'll just stay there and be ready for my turn.
All right. Yarg next to you is actually going to attack this fume drake next to him first. Again, just a slice of scimitar. Misses absolutely.
Oh, come on.
He rolled a 2.
Done it.
But he misses, and he kind of heard that a little bit.
Heard what?
He heard Adron's request to figure out the orrery. I think he kind of misses and blinks a little bit and kind of rubs his eyes and says, "Oh, I'm not mad anymore."
That's okay. You can still be Yarg.
That's true. Yarg is going to stay where he is, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, he wouldn't want to leave melee range. So he's going to stay where he is for now. It's Sparkrender's turn again. And he, this time, moves to a different statue, kind of using you guys to keep the fume drakes occupied. He moves to a different statue. You notice sudden lack of kobolds in the area.
Good.
They seem to have all ran away. Again, above you, this battle between Runara and Sharuth is...
Do they seem pretty, like, evenly matched, or is Runara struggling at all?
At the point in the battle is right now, and you're still pretty early in the battle, they seem pretty evenly matched. Like, you do see Runara get knocked around a couple of times, but you also see her getting several big slashes into Sharuth. So this seems, for now at least,
fairly even. Okay, cool beans. Let's go.
Sparkrender goes to another statue and is going to see if he can do that. He can. All right.
Can I, maybe I'll wait till my turn. Never mind.
I'm having them making checks for whether or not their calculations are correct. He this time moves the blue statue into place.
Okay.
And again, the Fume Drake next to you this time flickers a little bit in form. This seems to be hurting them somewhat.
Okay.
It is now the ones next to you's turn, and I believe is going to... since you and Yarg were right next to each other, he's going to strafe around you a little bit, and is going to see if he can use his steam breath on you as he inhales, and like you've been seeing a lot of dragon's breath weapons, but vaporous gases.
Brace yourselves!
And can you make a dexterity saving throw? I'm going to have Yarg make one as well.
Ooh, that is bad.
What?
That's 6.
Oh, okay. This might be the first time you've experienced the full brunt of this.
I think so. I think I've succeeded. I have pretty good dex, so...
Can you please take 6 fire damage?
And that does not get diminished by my...
No.
Lightning potion. Okay, I took the damage. Ooh, ow.
As you, again, these sulfurous fumes seem a little bit acidic, a little bit hot in nature. You feel that.
You ruined my armor. You'll pay for that.
Or you'll have to wait for your turn then.
Well, yeah.
It's just me playing D&D with myself for a bit. Adron seems to move another statue. Oh. See, I did make up a new mechanic for this. All right.
So what are they doing? Because you haven't explained it to me.
From what you can tell, both Sparkrender and Adron seem to be making calculations in their heads, and slowly changing the positions of these statues. You thought it might just be like a power source for the original ritual, but they seem to have specific positions. Adron and Sparkrender seem to be messing with the ritual somehow, moving these. You guys get to see, since I did really like the mechanics for the original ritual, I made my own, but included them in here. So, Adron kind of drops a statue at one point and says, oops. And, let's see. Oh, all right.
I don't like when you smile like that. It implies that bad things are about to happen to me.
Maybe. You're not quite sure. As... you know that this ritual has been tampered with. The original, Olivia said that she fixed it.
Was the implication that Sparkrender was going to get some sort of big power?
Yes.
And he was maybe tricked or something.
And he was... Something messed with his ritual.
Gotcha.
This is now not happening to him. It's happening to Sharuth.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
You don't know.
Yep.
But a brass statue, Adrian dropped, and it's just like, oops. And you notice a kind of a brass-colored light actually emerge from the statue and whip around the battlefield for a minute and fade out. You can gain advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until initiative count 0 of the next round.
Whoa.
And actually, I'm going to say Adrian's turn because one
come
round.
Full circle.
So you feel that kind of like a little bit more like dexterous, a little bit more on top of things.
Okay.
But weirdly, you also notice that these fume drakes seem to kind of perk up a little bit.
So we all got that effect.
You get the feeling that these are neutral effects.
I see. Okay.
Everybody gets them.
Everybody gets it. All right. So attacks and saving throws?
Yes, but that is Adron's turn.
Okay.
Now it is the Fume Drake next to Yarg's turn. And he, unfortunately, is going to get advantage on this attack.
Is he fume breathing us, or is he?
I think not yet.
I guess advantage would be for an attack. So yeah, okay.
So he is going to swipe down and see if he can hit. Right. First roll was better. That does exactly hit Yarg.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Well, you got to take some damage to make it feel spicy.
Yarg takes 3 damage. All right.
Is Yarg looking okay?
Yarg's looking okay. You healed him.
That's true.
With that.
The temporary. Yeah.
And he kind of winces a little bit, but says, "I'm fine." And now we come back around to your turn. As you feel this sort of weird more ability come over you.
All right. I look at my hands. I feel like they're grasping the axe especially tight. I make eye contact with the fume drake and I say, "Let's go." And I'm going to make an advantage swing. That is a 21 to hit.
That's
which is great because I rolled
hits.
a nat 1 on the first one.
Oh, great.
So now we go for full damage.
Oh, damn
on
it.
the D10. So that is 12 damage.
How do you want to do this?
I think I feel that boost. I look up towards the Runara Sharuth fight, and I think I see how they're kind of evenly matched, and I nod my head excitedly, and I go, "All right, we can do this." And I take my axe, and I spin full circle and do like a full whirlwind spin, and I say, "Whirlwind spin," and then I slash this fume drake.
You gotta label
drake, yeah.
All right, this fume drake. You were in melee range with it. I'm sorry.
I know.
I
don't think there's a way for me to defeat them without getting blown up unless I run away, which would have risked an attack of opportunity. So
you
shrug.
Whirlwind strike this thing and slash through it, and it poofs again into more sulfurous fumes. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Do I get advantage then because of this thing, or did I use it on? Is it one use?
Nope. You feel this kind of more dexterous feeling take over you. It is attack rolls and saving throws.
That is a 24.
That obviously does work. So
okay.
You easily dodge aside of this.
So I don't take any damage?
No.
Wonderful.
Of these vapors.
Okay.
And one fume drake is down.
I'm going to use my bonus action that I still technically have, right? I'm going to down a potion.
Oh, all right.
So I'm going to uncork a potion of healing. I have a few left, and that's 2d4 plus 2 because it's a bonus action. So I'm going to regain 7 hit points.
Oh, all right.
So not bad.
That's pretty good.
And then I will move to flank the other fume drake with Yarg.
All right. Yeah, you don't risk opportunity attack now. So is that your full turn?
Yep, that's everything.
All right.
Now I say, "We can do this, Yarg. We can take her down."
We're gonna slay a dragon.
Yeah, we are.
And Yarg jumps up and tries to take an aerial stab at this fume drake. For a does hit. Barely.
Nice.
Does hit with his scimitar, slashing 7 damage.
Is that enough?
This fume almost, but this fume drake still kind of like flickers, but.
And can I make a whistle? Because I forgot to take his turn.
Oh yeah, make a whistle.
Have Alfred fly right past Yarg and do a barrel roll attack. And as he flings over, he's going to do a talon attack against this thing.
All right.
Does a what does he do? To him. Does a 13 hit?
Yeah, that hits.
1 damage to the fume drake.
It looks slightly more damaged.
Darn it. I was hoping that would finish it off. All right. That is our turns.
As it comes round to Sparkrender's turn, he kind of glances up nervously at the battle in the sky, and your eyes follow. And you do still notice this tether of energy, magic, whatever, going to Sharuth, and you see, she never got to use it, you see suddenly flames light up the sky.
Whoa.
And you notice that it partially missed, but Runara did get burned.
Okay.
And you start to see a little bit of a difference in the station, in their positions in battle. Sharuth seems to be
the more powerful
the
house?
more powerful one.
Okay.
You get the idea that she's the more powerful one, but she hasn't used her powers in centuries, and so she's getting used to them.
She's getting used to him again. Okay, that makes sense.
And you notice that. However, it is Sparkrender's turn. He is going to see if he can move one final statue, and he is going to again make his check. No. All right, we get to roll.
Does he have advantage because of the bronze
right.
dragon thing?
He does have advantage. I forgot about that. Still doesn't work though. He only has a +1, or he only has a +2. He got an 11.
Okay.
And we get to roll on the fun, fancy effects table. Ooh, what's this one do?
This is good or bad?
This one is good.
Okay, good. I'll take it.
Except, again, completely neutral.
Yeah.
So you feel this bronze light, actually, and you would know that Astalagan was among the statues. You can gain D4 plus 4 hit points.
Oh, okay. Are you just going to roll it?
Yeah, and this will be Ooh, nice. Max
So 5?
health. No, 8.
A D4. Oh, D4 plus 4?
Yeah.
Wow, that brings me back up to full, but that also means that the Fume Drake got it?
Yes.
Okay.
The Fume Drake also got it.
Well, that's okay.
So you notice as this Fume Drake kind of regains a little bit of health. Ooh, Yarg is back up to full as well. Right. You feel this rush over you. Now it is back to Adrian's turn, since
So
the other Fume Drake is
all those
gone.
benefits go away? Okay.
Yes, and that advantage you
Yeah.
feel kind of leave you now. Adrian kind of is looking a little bit more panicked now.
Yeah.
And he is actually going to go up to the orrery now, and kind of is actually going to make an investigation check.
Please do. I'm terrible at those.
Rolled a 4. So,
okay, you're also terrible.
He kind of, you notice he's a bit distracted by the fact that his mentor is currently being beaten in combat.
Okay.
He kind of like shakes himself out of it and is actually going to see and kind of turn. He went up to the orrery. He's right next to you. Is going to turn and take a swipe at this Fume Drake.
Oh, okay.
He got nothing from that.
Okay.
So he does hit.
Nicely done.
This Fume Drake, as you notice Adron just kind of reach aside and swipe through this thing.
Okay.
Suddenly looks very hurt again.
Perfect. We'll finish it off yet. Don't worry.
Right.
Find out what we need to do.
I'm trying.
Okay.
And he looks a little bit at a loss for this. However, it is the one next to Yargs and you. He's going to turn and swipe at you.
Bring it on. You fumious fool.
Fumious?
Yep, fumious fool, I've decided.
I'm rolling terribly. I got a 9.
Well, there you go. That
Right.
will not hit. I am invincible. Not really.
I don't think he's going to risk the opportunity attack.
What, smart?
So,
Okay.
it's your turn.
I say, Yog, do your best to help Adron. I'll handle this thing.
All right.
And then I am going to make an attack.
All right.
That is a 18 to hit.
That easily hits.
And I am going to do... Ha-ha! That is 9 damage.
9. How do you want to do this?
Yes, I finish. This time, I yell at Yarg, and I say, you help Adron. I'll finish this thing. And then just kind of, while I'm looking at Yarg shouting that, I just sort of swing with my axe, not really looking. but I know where the thing is, and I slash down through it, and as I turn around, I go, oh, I got it. Uh-oh, and then it explodes, I am assuming.
Yes, it does explode. Make a dexterity saving throw as these...
Nope.
What'd you get?
8.
No. All right. There we go. Now you're taking some damage. Wow. You take 3 fire damage.
3? Okay.
That could have been a lot worse.
I can take that. Okay.
Right.
And then I will rush over to the closest edge where the battle with Runara is happening and look out, because I am terrible at making investigation checks.
You look out, and this is obviously a very big battle. I'm not going to need you to make a roll for this at all. The Runara and Sharuth are currently kind of grappling each other in the sky. And you can tell Runara is giving it her all, and you know that she is an ancient dragon. However, Sharuth seems to have a lot less cuts than Runara does. And she's almost she's got an expression of what you would almost call a grin on her face.
Sharuth?
As much as a dragon can grin.
I figured. I lean back at my people and I say, we must hurry! Runara's not gonna last much longer!
I'm trying! Sparkrender shouts. Is that your turn?
That's my turn. That's everything.
All right. You told Yarg to...
Yes. I meant help, too, if you want, give advantage type thing.
I was going to say that. He he goes to Sparkrender, I think. Him not being one for very much for calculations of things, he goes to Sparkrender and kind of helps him pick up the statue.
Okay.
This last statue a little bit.
Come on, Yug.
And Sparkrender is going to get advantage on his Arcana check. Woo! Already got a 19. All right.
Nicely done, team.
You notice with Sparkrender looks a little confused that Yarg is helping him at first, but points him to a place that just looks like a random place in the plaza, but you get the idea that he knows where to put these things. And you notice Yarg put the statue down, and the light of the orrery flares really bright.
Ooh.
And then dims.
Okay.
To a much darker color. And it's not glowing as much. It looks more like metal now. Sharuth, up above, you notice... actually, make a perception check.
16.
All right. You notice this tether that you saw kind of thins a little.
Okay.
And you notice Sharuth up above kind of lose her position in the air for a little bit, but recovers. You get this idea
weaker.
that she...
It's
felt
working. That. Okay.
Runara is currently losing the fight.
Yeah.
However, the orrery now, you notice something weird about it. You did get a 16. So you kind of, even from this distance, you kind of notice before it was just a fiery glow.
Yeah.
But now that that's dimmed, one little model of an object on the celestial mechanism is glowing a violet purple.
A violet purple.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that seems like it's out in outer space?
I mean, you know that this is a model of, I guess, what you would call the solar system.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're probably going to need to get closer to see what it is.
Okay.
Sparkrender, he's kind of switching his attention between looking at the orrery to try to figure out what's still wrong with it and looking at the fight between Sharuth and Runara.
Okay.
You notice this.
Okay. I don't think it's my turn, so.
I'm going to say we are
not really in combat.
Effectively out of combat.
Okay, I say, Adron, could you get me up to that glowy purple thing?
Oh, yeah, here.
And he spreads out his wing for you to climb on.
I hop on and I go up there, hoping for some assistance to figure out what this thing is.
All right. I'm going to need you to make a history check with advantage.
History check with advantage.
Because Adron is there.
Boom. Natural 20.
Woo!
which for history makes it a 19.
Nice. All right.
I did get a 3 on the first roll, so the advantage was nice.
All right. Adrian kind of flies you up, and this is a pretty big
Model. Okay.
Adrian kind of flies you up and says, "Oh, I didn't know about this." And
I know that it glows purple. That's all I got.
And you recognize Toril, your world's position in the solar system, and you see the planet, and that's just this normal metal. But you notice a much smaller object, like even smaller than your moon.
Okay.
On an irregular orbit around the solar system.
Is this the comet I heard?
Aligned with Toril as of the moment, and that is what is glowing purple.
I say, is this what Sparkrender was talking about, some sort of comet?
Sparkrender kind of perks up at that and says, Did you find in the model the King Killer Star?
The King Killer Star.
Wait. He also kind of flies up.
Okay.
And you notice that you recall this particular shade of purple. You've never seen it glowing before. But this same sort of violet purple.
Does it look like the crystals?
It does.
Oh, no.
And this is the same type of crystal. This object that usually would be made out of metal has been replaced with
some of that
round piece of crystal that you found forming near vents.
Forming
vents.
near dead dragon bodies too, or just vents?
Well, you get the idea that they were kind of in the same place.
Okay. I say, you're the other owl. What was her name? Olivia. And I look at Alfred, and he goes,
Alfred, who's?
She must have put that here or something. Do we need to remove it?
I guess so.
And Adrian tries to reach in, but kind of pulls back a little bit. And you notice that his as this big bear-sized dragon, his claws are actually too big.
Oh.
And
I look at my hand. Is my hand too big?
You get the idea that these rings, all these different orbits, are far enough apart for you to reach your hand in.
All right.
If you want to try to remove this.
Absolutely. I reach my hand in, grasp the crystal, and pull with all my might.
All right. Make an athletics check.
15.
All right. You pull this, and you tug, and like Yarg, I think, kind of from below, is kind of like watching. He's too short to do anything right now.
Right.
And you tug, and finally this thing comes loose. You get the idea that Olivia, lacking thumbs, didn't screw it in all too well.
Perfect for me.
And as you finally release this crystal, you see pulse of this fiery light just explode out in all directions, and it kind of knocks you and Adrian and Sparkrender back a little bit.
Ugh.
And this crystal suddenly flickers and fades out. It seems to be just a normal rock now. And you notice the orrery does the same. It kind of, this huge flash,
right,
like an outburst of energy, and then it cuts. And you look to the, as you notice, this tether also fades out.
I think we did it.
You shout that, and you notice the battle up in the sky come to a halt as Sharuth pushes Runara aside a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This is how all going on midair, and looks down at you. You get the idea she felt that, and she goes,
Blazes! What happened? No, that can't stop.
She falters suddenly and drops a bit in the air.
Can I say, Adrian, shark tender? And I clear my throat and I say, no, wait. Sparkrender.
Thank you.
We've got to get up there. We've got to help Runara.
All right. Sharuth drops a little bit in the air, I'd say, as she goes, her voice kind of falters a little bit. And you
she goes, "No, not this again." And weirdly, you notice her colors that were very vibrant, almost glowing before begin to dim. And they grow a little less vibrant, though slowly, and more gray.
Okay, so can I climb? I would like to climb on Sparkrender's back.
He
If possible, as I see this dragon turn to gray.
her like very bright crimson red before now kind of deepens a little bit. You you can certainly try.
I say, Sparkrender, I know we've had our differences, and we might still become enemies after this, but for now, we need to get up there and we need to help stop that beast.
Are you fine?
Ha! Let's go.
But if you try anything, I will drop you.
Fair enough. I hop on.
All right. You shoot up, and Sharuth said, "Not this again."
Right.
And Runara kind of recovers, takes a little bit of a reprieve in the sky. Her wings, like you notice, like part of her wing is torn through.
Oh,
you notice, like
yeah.
she's
pretty rough.
very injured.
Okay.
And you guys see Sharuth, who was before suddenly looking very powerful, now looking a bit more like a normal dragon.
Okay.
I'm going to say you guys fly up. You can do what you like. I'm going to give you 1 round of combat.
I rush in and I do the only thing I know how to do, and that's attack.
All right.
And I am going to go for, since I see Runara is kind of weakened, kind of rough for wear, I would like to kind of tell Sparkrender, like, to battle! And then I would like to use my axe and my last superiority dice of the day to use the distracting strike thing.
All right.
I will attack, and then that would give advantage to somebody else. So let's see if I hit first. Natural 14, so a 20 total?
Yeah.
On Sharuth?
I'm going to say that hits.
That barely hits, probably.
Barely hits,
Okay.
especially because she is in her weakened state.
Okay,
So, yeah.
7, not a great amount of damage.
All right.
But then I get to add the d8 from my superiority dice, which is an 8 this time.
Ooh.
So 15 total damage, and the next attack roll against her will have advantage.
All right.
And I slash out with my axe, scraping the scales.
Yeah, you slash, and I'm going to say you probably take out a little piece of her wing, and she, you just hear a...
Creepy.
And you get the idea as she kind of opens her eyes a little bit, and they're still glowing. She
still has a little bit.
She still has her powers,
right.
but she's coughs again.
Okay.
That might be your turn, unless you're doing anything else.
I mean, it'd be like leaving Sparkrender hundreds of feet in the air, so I think I'm just going to stay put.
Right. Sparkrender, he is going to rear back, and despite being the young wormling that he is, no larger than Sharuth's head, he is going to attempt to lightning strike her.
Nice.
She absolutely fails that
Nice.
dexterity saving throw. She rolled a 5, so he takes, admittedly, only 8 lightning damage.
Well, you know, still a small dragon
but,
in comparison.
This lightning bolt hits into her, and her scales scorch a little bit.
Nice.
I'm going to say Yarg, definitely, you guys definitely have gotten a bit of a surprise on her. Yarg definitely comes forward and takes his sling out and, keeping a little bit of a distance, tries to hit her. The natural 1.
Ouchies.
So it, I'd say that the rock that he flies just hits her horn and pings off.
Bummer.
However, Adron is going to, kind of doubling Sparkrender's move, is going to also do lightning breath from the other side.
The dex
she
save.
did save on that dexterity saving throw.
Still half damage though, or
Still
something. Yeah.
half damage.
Nice.
So, whoo, she takes
another 8 damage.
Nice.
And she kind of does that, and you notice her kind of flap her wings a little bit to try and gain some height on you guys.
Okay.
And you notice her pulling back her claws to maybe take a swipe, but Runara from behind seems to have finally recovered a little bit. And Runara barrels straight into her from behind and tackles them both down out of the air.
Whoa.
They splash down into the ocean below.
Okay.
This fight was going on over the open ocean. And
I think we'd fly down to like hover, but not
Alright.
necessarily go in yet.
you see Runara splash back up and actually is thrown aside a little bit as the water kind of steams a little bit as Sharuth steps back out of the water. Again, this huge dragon. But you notice that her colors now are even more muted, almost gray. She looks more ashy and burnt charcoal than magma.
Okay.
And she seems stiff almost as she gets up.
She's weakened.
And you kind of see her look around and look at the 3 dragons surrounding her as well as you. And she chuckles. You may win this time. Her scales actually begin to turn black while the spaces between them glow. Again, this magma color. And her eyes dim a little bit. And she doesn't make a move. Weirdly, she seems to know what's happening to her. And she turns to look at all of you. You may win this time, but years mean nothing to me in this state. You think you have won the battle. She can barely move now, but you have not begun to fight the war. Her eyes flash that
Am I
bright
beginning
fire.
to think that she's going to do what the fume drakes do? And I'm going to say, everybody, get back! And because I feel like it seems like she's going to blow up. I don't know if that's true, but that's the vibe I'm getting currently.
I'd say everybody probably backs up a little.
Yeah.
Her, just in case, her lava-like eyes flash that bright fire one last time. I'll be back until we meet again. And she smirks. And her, the glow between her scales, the glow in her eyes turns black. And you notice she looks a little different, weirdly. She can't move. And as you see this full black, gray-black, sort of, you turn back to the island and you notice the columns, the basalt columns of that the island cliffs are made out of
Right.
match this color. And strangely, nothing happens. And I'd say Runara probably goes and taps Sharuth, and it makes a clink, clink
Oh, she
noise.
turned into the same rock material?
And you kind of get the idea that you stopped this in time. And she wasn't fully back.
I had that feeling, yeah.
And her scales are cooling into basalt rock as Sharuth the Red, as is her official title, is once again trapped in stone. And that is where we will on this episode.
Nice. Cinematic and cool. I liked it.
Sorry,
Lots
the
of,
end was a little long, but
That's all right. That was good. Good lore drop. Cool. So we're going to
yeah.
figure out the aftermath of that next time?
Figure out the aftermath. Afterthought. You hear Olivia's constant cackling stop
Does she...
as she looks on and is just like, oh, no. Wasn't expecting that to happen.
All right.
So we'll figure out what the aftermath of that is next week.
Wow. Okay, cool. That was fun. Fight there at the end. Did pretty good, but wow. Got to defeat
How
it.
much damage did you take?
Well, I was down to 12.
Oh.
So I was pretty low, but then I got some healing
got the
back.
heals.
Yeah. So I'm doing okay right now.
I did.
Mid-20s, but
I did definitely, because in the original, there is a ritual ability, and I changed the mechanics of the ending, but
some of that was in
but
it.
some of that ritual mechanic was in this fight.
Cool.
So you stopped it in time, however.
Haha! The feathered fangs strike again. Well, cool. That was awesome. Thank you guys all for listening. Do you think the next one's we're gonna wrap up?
I think next week's episode might be the end of season 2.
All right.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah. We'll finish it up next week. But until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. We'll see you next
week.
Monday.
Next Monday
On
Dadventurous.